Back to the 1611 first edition with English letters. They tell you what they think while they're speaking to you, just like you and I have to think while we speak. This was done away with in translation, so anyone can interpret the scriptures or any writing the way that they want to. It was an intentional disregard for translation. Shakespeare had it in his writing, all major writers, government documents, and it was done away with. The lights went out on this in the 18th century. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence pulled it off, though. They got to thinking in the writing. They got pictures. They've got all the beautiful stuff that natural writing would have you to use to let you know what they are thinking. But anyway, we're in 2 Chronicles here, chapter 17, and we're talking about the subject here is God's talking to David about building the temple, and we're going to see a couple of reference crosses in the margin, and it's going to refer to David wanting to build the temple. Just simple little illustrations that go along with building the temple, wanting to build the temple, and moving from tabernacle to tabernacle. That's what God was talking about here. So let's jump into this. All right. Up here at the top, we're going to be looking at this little cross here, reference cross. It's kind of broken up. You wouldn't think there's much there. It's referenced into the margin here with that little cross right there. So let's take a look at the one in the margin first. Let's see. Well, let's go into the scripture first. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Alright, right here. Let's go with that cross right there. And what you're looking at when we remove the darkness is you're looking at David as an example of David on the cross. Okay? And he's got some building timbers in his arms there. One arm is kind of stretching back there, and you have a mortise and tenon timber here with the little spikes on the end of the timbers there. You see the mortise joints, and you see the little tenon peg, okay, on these. And so he's ready, and you can pull this up close, and you see his mouth open. It's kind of a distorted picture, but he's got his mouth open, his eyes is big. He's ready to build this temple, you know. And up there at the top of the cross, you got a mortise and tenon type of fixture up here. So he has beams in his arms. It's in the shape of the cross, you know, because that's what it's all about. And he's ready to build that temple. Isn't that funny? That's fun, though. It goes along with the narrative. And so in the narrative here, it says, let's see what it says. It says, I'm going to turn your phone sideways. It says, have gone from tent to tent, from that reference cross. But it says, but have gone from tent to tent. And then in the margin over here, it says, in Hebrew, softens it and says, have been. And notice that been is spelled B-E-N-E, like beneficial or benefactor. And so that's what he wants you to take away in this special God spelling. Whenever you see the word been, you'll see it spelled this way, and it's about, you know, anywhere you've been, whatever has to do with something that you did, you're a benefactor of it, no matter what it is. So you see benefactor there in the word been. It's not B-E-E-N, it's B-E-N-E. So you'd see benefactor. You're a benefactor of whatever. So anyway, so have been. So in the narrative it says have gone from tent to tent. Let's get that back. Gone from tent to tent. But in the margin, Hebrew says have been. You've been a benefactor. You've been benefited going from tent to tent. God has been benefited. Okay, from going from tent to tent and from one tabernacle to another. Okay, so he's indwelling, you know, each one of us individually. But anyway, that's what's going on there. That's the cross, and so that's the one in the margin. And so you see someone hanging there on the cross. He's got his mouth wide open, you know, and let's get that back. Got his mouth wide open. Got the mortise and tenon beams there. You can see the mortise and the beams there. The little notches cut, and you can see the tenons on the end. Little pegs ready to fit everything together. Get that tabernacle going. But God said otherwise. He had other plans. And so, okay, let's look at the other cross. Let's see, because the narrative says that he went from tent to tent, tabernacle to tabernacle. Okay, let's see here now. That's what that is in the margin there. Look at that. That's what that is in the margin, little cross all broken up. And so what you'll see here, when you break this up, is you'll see down here at the bottom, you'll see a little square, and then you come up through the middle and you'll have another kind of a little square looking little object there. But what you're having is each one of these little objects on this cross down below are little tabernacle layouts, okay, from one tabernacle to another, from the bottom to the top. And then when you get to the top, you have a full-blown tabernacle with a banner, because every tribe had to have a banner, or a degel in Hebrew, a degel, and a little banner that marks their tribe. And this is a wholesome little picture of a tabernacle. You have a pillar there, okay, signifying the tabernacle, or the place where the tribe is set up, or the person is set up, tabernacle. And you have a flag. You have a banner. Each tribe had to have a banner identifying their tribe, and there you have it. It's like a little fort, you know. So in Hebrew, that little flag would be called a degel, okay, because it identifies the tribe. So I'm laboring the point, I know, but anyway. So anyway, that's that little cross. You see, isn't that wonderful? So that's the one in the margin, referencing back to this one in the script, which has, so to speak, David on that cross. You know, he's up there and he's just, oh boy, he's wanting to let everybody know about the cross, and he's got the mortar and tenon beams in his arms, and he's got his mouth wide open. You know, where is he at? Wow, you know, I want to get this thing going here. Look at his eyes. It's all cartoonish, and he's reaching back there with his right arm. He's ready to go, you know. And the whole cross here is mortise and tenon. Mortise and tenon. Because he's wanting to build a temple for the Lord. Y'all enjoy.